Hi, this is Byron Chamberlain, former tight end for your Denver Broncos. You're watching Bronco Planet.
Well, howdy there, Bronco fans. A very different Denver Bronco game. Every week we line up here. We've got something different to talk about. This week's edition, bore you to death and throw a long pass to Decker and go home. I think that summed up the game. So that's all I've got.
You know what? Today was Big 8 football, right? A handoff and 3 yards in a cloud of dust and chalk it down in the dub. Just another regular win for the Broncos.
So let's talk a little bit about the game. A little surprising. Some football we've never really seen before. Being Bronco fans with Elway, I tell you what, Mike McCoy's making Dan Reeves seem like a crazy go-get-him type of offensive genius after these games. But you know what? The guy gets the win. They are making some adjustments. You see him doing some different things. So that's it. Tell me your thoughts about the game. Obviously not a lot of passing.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on who you believe. Do you believe John Fox saying that this is not an indictment as Tebow as a quarterback? This was simply taking what was being given you. I have a hard time believing that. A win is a win, and it's hard to be critical of that. But there are certainly still some deficiencies in the passing game. But at the same time, you found what worked. You stuck with it. You lulled everyone in Arrowhead to sleep, and then you go over the top to Decker, who continues, as we've talked about every week, continues to be the best player on this team by far.
Love Eric Decker. Actually had a chance to have another long touchdown. Was underthrown by Tebow. He actually should have caught that one, I felt. I did feel that, Tebow only getting 2 completions out of 8. Should have been 5 out of 8. Lance Ball with the drop, a shuffle pass. You can never get enough shuffle passes. To Eddie Royal was dropped, and then the Decker left him short. So, I don't think Tebow played bad, but everybody's still wondering, is this guy going to be a quarterback or not? When he gets 8 attempts, it's hard really to judge whether he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL or not. But what he is 3-1. You can't deny that. He's had a lot of touchdowns in his career, only 1 interception, and he's fun. At least you're interested. You're tuning in.
As many wins as Michael Vick, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? You know what's funny, Shad, is ever since the Miami game, we've had the exact same comment after every game. Whether you like Tebow, whether you don't like Tebow, you feel like you're right. And there's not been, other than maybe the Detroit game was kind of the anomaly, but other than that, whichever side of the fence you come down on, you feel like every game has strengthened your position. We're 4 games in now to him as a starter. I have no idea whether or not he's an NFL quarterback. I know what I feel. I feel like I want more production out of my quarterback, but if there's a chance they're going to win this division, Chad.
What more production do you want than wins? And that's what the guy keeps giving you. And it's so funny you bring that up because in every game, there's examples of all right, so the great pass to Decker. I mean, a beautiful pass on the money, touchdown. Hey, he's our guy. He could be an NFL quarterback. You see him run for another touchdown. I mean, the guy's getting touchdowns left and right. Once again, he beat Matt Castle in quarterback rating. He beat Carson Palmer in quarterback rating the week before. So you start saying he's your guy. And then every game, he has a pass in each game that I've seen him that is the worst NFL pass you've ever seen. That makes no sense. The one to Rosario was outside, missed him by probably 50 feet and short. And even quarterbacks that throw the ball away don't look that bad. So, no, you're right. Nobody's closer to figuring out, but maybe Danny's out there. He's got some solutions for us. Danny, good to see you. We missed you last week, buddy. What do you got to say about this week's game?
Well. Look who decided to join the AFC West race, our beloved Denver Broncos. A little crazy just a few short weeks ago when a lot of us, myself included, had kind of written off not all of the season, but certainly certain games within the season. The Broncos come roaring back, prove us all wrong, and they're now 1 game out of the lead of the AFC West and tied with San Diego and Kansas City. That's unthinkable. It's kind of crazy. What's even weirder is that the Broncos now have a win-loss record that is better than 10 other teams in the NFL. Now that's not bad considering the 1-4 start with Kyle Orton, and of course Timmy comes in and goes 3-1. Now, is Timmy the reason why the Broncos have had this huge turnaround? No. Now look, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but Timmy's had a pretty easy schedule since taking over the reins from Kyle. He's had the Miami Dolphins, which is a team that's only slightly better than my old high school football team. You've got the Raiders, which you just don't know who is even going to show up on game day when you play them. And of course, you've got the Chiefs today that look just absolutely horrible. The only quality team, and the loss, coincidentally, came at the hands of the Detroit Lions. So I guess what I'm saying is, enjoy this victory, because I certainly am. I, for one, I'm going to relish it. I'm going to soak. I'm going to bask in the beauty of another win. It doesn't matter how you win. You know, the old saying that stat this and stat that, and yes, Tim went 2 for 8 for 69 yards, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if he tried. But the bottom line, and the only important stat that matters, is the win. What you got. So once again, bask in the win. I know I certainly am, but come Thursday, it's time to get serious again as the New York Jets come into town, kind of a return to the scene of the crime, if you will. If you remember last year's game and the atrocity that took place on the 1-yard line, Denver definitely has its chance for redemption, but more importantly, Denver's going to be facing a tough Jets defense. Now, we saw what Tebow and the Bronco offense did against Detroit. Again, the only way you're going to get better is playing teams that are better than you. Playing the Chiefs is not going to get you better. Running the belly option and handing the ball off 55 times is not going to get you better. And a defense that will make you play a different game, a whole game, a complete game, not just belly options, not just handing off the balls. We don't know the status of Noshawn Marino. We don't know the status of Willis McGahee. Mike McCoy, you're going to have to get a little creative this week against the Jets. And if I could just give you a little bit of advice. Back in 1906, they instituted what was known then as the forward pass into the game of football. Come this Thursday against the Jets, there's not going to be any more belly options and runs up the middle. You better use that forward pass to your advantage if you have any hope of beating this good football club. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens, and back to you guys there at Bronco Planet headquarters.
Well, there it is. Good to hear from Danny in the man cave. So, hey, we're going to catch Danny later in the week. He's promised us he's going to show up this time, so we're looking forward to seeing him on Wednesday night. But let's talk a little bit about the defense. So what has impressed you about this defense so far this season?
The defense, I think, was better today. The question, again, is that a function of the defense getting better, or is that a function of playing Kansas City? I think it's a little bit of both. We talked very early in the season. We went back and looked at last year's Super Bowl, and the two categories the Green Bay and Pittsburgh led the league in were turning the other team over and sacking the quarterback. And we've seen, even during some of these wins with Tebow, the Broncos have taken a lot of sacks. That changed today. No sacks were given up, and they got to Castle 4 times. That's a huge improvement. The linebacker play, I think, is better. The secondary play is coming, but we didn't face someone like Calvin Johnson, and we know what happened 3 weeks ago, when Detroit was in town. So a little bit of both. Is the defense improving? Yeah, I think it is. Von Miller is without a doubt the best defensive rookie in the league. But there's a ways to go, no doubt.
Yeah, I think this is when they say you can't fix a team overnight. When you look at the Broncos from a year ago, you can start to see there are some great changes. Getting to the quarterback, I'd like to see more interceptions, which is a little bit surprising with the Dennis Allen defense. A couple dropped interceptions today. But Chris Harris, the undrafted defensive back, continues to play pretty good ball. And Von Miller has been on it. I mean, just as you would expect from a number 2 pick, he was in Castle's face all day long. Yeah. You see Elvis Dumervil getting healthier, getting a lot more confidence there. So, they played some pretty good ball on the defensive side. You worry about a team like the Jets coming to town Thursday night game, or whether they're going to be able to step up against a team like that. And they're getting there. You can see progress is being made, which is what you want to see. Even like Joe Mays hasn't been a superstar, but for his first real year at middle linebackers coming along. So I feel good about it.
It was hard. It was hard not to watch a game like Von Miller had today in Arrowhead and not think of Derek Thomas. Is he Derek Thomas? No, by no means. Does he have that kind of ability? Yeah, he absolutely does, where he's a guy that's going to end every season 15, 18, 17 sacks the way Derek Thomas was. If Denver finds a way to make sure he stays here for the long haul, that's going to be one of the great Denver Broncos that's ever played here.
So the Broncos really coming along on defense. A little bit of struggle and question marks on the offense still, but they're getting wins. And Mike McCoy, in your sick way, are figuring out a way to win.
That's Shad apologizing to you for everything he said.
No, not even for a second. But at one point there in the game, well, they're reviewing the game, the Broncos 19 times out of 22 times they run the ball on first down. And you're like, are you serious? And on third down, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, it was draw play. It was, Tebow keeps the ball. It's a shuffle pass. So the second and third quarter, it was not only frustrating that we weren't passing on first down, but even on third down situations, just seemed like, hey, let's just run the clock out. You don't usually protect the 10-point lead
Playing
in
for
the first
overtime
quarter,
in the third
but
quarter.
that's the way of Fox and McCoy. But we got it done. It had me nervous there at the end, almost an onside kick away, and Spencer Larson just missed that, and we almost flubbed it there. But a win's a win. Tebow's a gamer. I think he's hanging in there, and, good things are happening. And speaking of great news, it's time to give some gifts away. That's what we love to do here at Bronco Planet. And so as we promised earlier this week, we got a J.D. Walton signed football right here in the studio. And also we have a Raider Hater shirt, so you can never get enough of those.
Yeah.
So our winner is actually Daniel Beckett. Daniel Beckett does a great job going to our website, putting his comments there. He's very active on Facebook. And so that's how you get our attention around here. We picked it out of the drawing. We have a special prize going out to our littlest fan, I think. He watches every show. He's out in Katy, Texas. So, Seth, I know there's a lot of Texan fans out there, and they actually ought to be because they got a pretty darn good team. And I know you're excited about it.
I like the Texans
the Foster
a lot this
getting all
year.
those yards for your fantasy team. But Seth, for representing out there, we're thinking about you. We got a Bronco shirt for you to wear, loud and proud out there. So thanks a lot. We're going to have Chris is actually going to talk to us a little bit about what his main gig here was, be an NFL expert, if you can imagine that. He's going to join us on Wednesday night. We're going to break down so far. We're one game past the halfway mark, and Chris is going to tell us a little bit about some of the surprises, the disappointments, and just his feelings on the league so far. So you won't want to miss that, and we'll do a little preview on that Jet game coming up on Thursday night. That's not going to be so easy. Speechless for once in his life. This is good. So looking forward to seeing you guys real soon. You know where you can catch us. So you can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on Twitter. You can catch us right there at www.broncoplanet.com. So Tebow, 3-1. Got to feel a little bit of the magic. The only team in the AFC right now with the 2 wins in a row. And it's been since 2009 since Broncos won back-to-back. So, whether you hate him, you love him, whatever, Tim Tebow continues to be the talk of the town. And until the Broncos do something to prove it one way or another, we'll just keep sitting here cruising along as long as we're getting wins. Why not?
Well,
rolling, baby.
Obviously, the only thing that could get better Thursday night is 0 pass attempts.
And just run
if
it the whole
If we
time.
can have like 65 rushing attempts, that's what I'm after.
Yeah, we don't want Dustin Colquitt doing any more throws. We've seen his heave-ho this year. All right, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week right here on Bronco Planet.